Hello and welcome to Clarke Farms. We're back with another episode of Clarke Farms by MRG Mapping. And this is our, second episode on this series. We did do a little bit of a map preview before the map came out. And last time we did a bit of a farm tour and got started on tillage, but didn't do a whole lot. So today we're going to really be focusing on finishing up our spring tillage. We want to get this field prepped for planting here shortly. And man, these hills are something else. So last time I had a bunch of mods missing. I have kind of a standard mod setup that I like to use with all of my farm sim games. And in fact, I should probably just do a video about that, because a lot of people ask me, you know, what mod do you use to do this? What mod do you use to do that? And there's just a lot of common things that I find myself always wanting to do in different series. And so there's like, I don't know, 5, 6 mods that I use on every single save game that I play. So at some point here, maybe not too far down the road, I will do a series on that. But for today, we're going to be focusing on some of this tillage. Now, this tractor is pulling hard up these hills. I mean, look at this hill. That is a significant incline, both up and down and, you know, like horizontally and vertically, I guess you'd say. Like, I'm leaning to the side and I'm going up the hill. It's awesome. I don't know. I love these rolling hills on these fields. And you saw we dropped down to like 5 miles an hour there from the 9 miles an hour that we're typically going. So, I mean, we're clipping with this tillage, but those hills really slow us down in a few spots, which is kind of cool. This is a pretty big field, and so I definitely wanted to get GPS set up for this. I guess we could have probably used something like Courseplay, but I'm trying to do a little bit more of the farming hands-on here in this series, but some of these fields are pretty big, so we'll definitely be using some workers or Courseplay to help us out. In fact, I have a normal hired worker that's technically doing what I would call fall tillage over in the other field. Just the danger of starting a season's playthrough is some of the field states end up in a state that I wouldn't normally leave them in until spring. Well, at least I guess weather pending. Sometimes you don't get to get out there and do all the field work that you necessarily wanted to do. And so I've got a disc over there running on the other field, chopping up some of the crop residue that was left over from the previous year. So we're going to let the worker kind of keep going on that. It is sucking through our money pretty quickly. And so that'll be kind of the limiting factor, I guess. We started out with pretty limited funds. We are playing on hard economic difficulty, so I think that increases the cost of the workers, which, given the crop prices are so high, that'll be a good offset to help us keep things somewhat reasonable as we go through the year here. We are still in the first day of spring, and we're making pretty good progress for being this early in the spring. I don't know how fast the ground is going to warm up to planting temperature. I've never played with the geo that we're playing with before, so this is the Indiana geo from the in-game mod hub. And so we're going to have to kind of play through a year here and see how it goes. I'm not really familiar with the area, and so outside of watching, you know, a handful now, you know, maybe 10 of Clarke Farms videos on YouTube, I haven't ever actually paid much attention to farming in the southern Indiana area. I think this geo is technically based on Indianapolis weather data, so this will be a little bit colder than what he typically deals with on the farm, but it should be pretty close. And we're just going to get turned around here. We should go a little bit faster on the side hill here. I think once we get done doing the second headland pass, I will switch to doing things at a bit of an angle, and we'll go the long way diagonal across this field if we pull up the map and look at this field, I mean, it's just huge. So, oops, we're missing our track over here. Get backed up a little bit. So yeah, so this series is going to be a lot of fun. While I did get a bunch of my utility mods installed, I did not get a chance to track down the rest of the equipment that I'm planning on using on this map or get the animals installed yet. So we're going to be doing that here over the next couple episodes. So stay tuned for some of those other things coming here to this series pretty soon. And then by the time this episode comes out, I think the new Alpine expansion is actually going to be released. So I'll be looking forward to trying that out. I know the Minnesota Millennial Farmer map is set to release again soon, and we're, right in the middle of harvest on our Westby series. So if you're following along with the channel and watching some of the other series, we're pretty busy at this point. And so I'm going to try and juggle all 4 of those series here and see if we can crank out a little bit more content here over the next couple of weeks, because I'm just too excited about all of those series that we have going on. But, I have to kind of balance that with getting burned out, and there's only so much free time in the day after you spend some time with the family and you do that little thing called work. So we'll see how it goes, but there's just too many fun things going on right now to try and let any of them slip to the side. So stay tuned, and there'll be a lot more content coming here soon. And if you are not a regular viewer on the channel or a subscriber, I strongly recommend hitting that subscribe button. About 80% of my viewers are not subscribed to the channel, which is pretty crazy to think about, since we have 10,000 people that are already subscribed to the channel. So things have been going well. Channel's growing, and the Discord channel is going as well, Discord server. And so we've got several hundred people, more than 300 people on the Discord server now. So if you're looking for a good farm sim community and a place to hang out, get some help with mods and different things, come on over. The link is in the description. And yeah, we love to have some more people in the Discord server and hanging out. But enough of that. Let's get back to the farming here. So I have finished off these headland passes, and I think what I'm gonna do, just because I'm here and I need to get to the other corner, is I'm just gonna take off one more headland pass, and we'll get to this far corner, and then we'll pick an angle here to kind of go to the other end of the field. I'm trying to think about the layout of this field. Actually, let's maybe, instead of bringing up the big map, I'll bring up this smaller map. I think I would typically run this field with north-south rows. So I'm going to cut an angle that's a little bit past north-south, but probably not at a full 45-degree angle. There's a lot of thought that goes into what angle against the row you do tillage at typically. But in my experience, when we were farming, we didn't do any tillage. We did no seed bed prep, nothing before we planted. We planted right back into the pre-existing mounds that were there from the rows the previous year. So I don't have any real-world experience to kind of guide me on what an appropriate tillage line is, but I have heard anything from single digits to low teens for an angle. And so I think what we're gonna do is maybe just grab a 10-degree angle here. See if I can actually grab a 10-degree angle. And we're gonna set up a GPS track here at 10 degrees and try to be a little bit consistent with how we're approaching this field. If I do that, looks like multi-terrain angle is bringing me over to a 12-degree angle. 11. All right, we can take 11. It's probably a little bit steeper than I've seen a lot of people go in real life, but the way this field is laid out, I think we're just going to take it and see how this goes. These hills are definitely keeping me on my toes, though. We were just crawling up the other side of this hill. And now we're going to be turning around down here in this super low spot. At some point, I'm really hoping that Farming Simulator introduces ground moisture mud. Like, I know there's mud mods or I don't know what it's called, real dirt, or there's a couple of mods out there that help you simulate mud. But I really want one that's set up for, what do you call it? Like, low spots hold more moisture than high spots and things like that. So I'm hoping with some of the things that I see with their precision farming. Oh, we did not appropriately set our implement width here. Let's see. GPS does not know what to do. We're going to back down this hill, and then we'll finish our thought. I don't often have to do this, but I'm not sure this implement is registering. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. We need no offset. And that looks like it's the right width now. Yeah, anytime you use a new tractor and implement, I find that I have to actually turn GPS on and make sure that all the settings are set up appropriately here. So now it looks like my implement width is set right and my tractor is following the course more or less right. Am I centered on this now? Yeah, this looks good. So I'll be able to go ahead and turn these back off now. I just want to make sure that this width is set correctly. Good deal. So, yeah, what I was saying, though, is that with the precision farming features that Giants is talking about, they're talking about soil sampling and different types of soil. And in the preview images that they showed off, it showed those different types of soil following the contour of the land, which is cool. And so I'm hoping that over time, those types of things can be used to also layer in other types of ground effects, whether that's moisture or yield or fertilizer states or what have you. So that is my hope, at least. And if not, once the mechanics are there, at least to track different soil types in different parts of the field, based on what I have seen from the modding community, there's some really amazing modders out there. Somebody's going to figure out how to take advantage of that. And I am not grabbing an appropriate GPS track here. Why am I having problems? Let's try this. Does that look right, or did I skip 2 rows? I'm like all over the place. Is this my mod? Is this me? This is me. This is me being a bad driver, isn't it? I'm going to have so much work to clean up all these spots down here. Alright, this is what happens when you talk and farm. It's the red equipment. I'm cursed. It's rebelling. It knows that I'm not a red fan, so it's going to give me fits. So yeah, so with that, though, I'm super excited about all the changes coming. I'm super excited about the Alpine expansion coming out, which I'm thinking may not be as popular on my channel as some of my other content, just because I am a Midwest American focused content creator, and that's not going to change. But I am just super excited by some of the unique looking equipment in the expansion. And so we're going to be playing through that a little bit. We may not, we'll be taking it seriously. I definitely not the type of player that likes to just goof off in my series, but we may be not playing realistically in the sense that I don't know how to farm in Europe, and there's just a lot of different mindsets, different ways of doing things over there compared to the US. And so my plans will be to use all the really cool, interesting looking equipment, but take my more Midwest American mindset to actually playing on that map and see how that goes. So I keep talking about wanting to go and get the rest of my animal achievements. At this point, I'm down to chickens and sheep, so maybe that'll be a good map to do that on. I know it's seasons ready. I'm kind of curious if it has a built-in geo or not, but we may play around with that. So with that, we've got a lot of tillage to do here. I'm not even sure we're going to get it all done today, but I think we're going to cut into a little bit of a time lapse here and see how much of this tillage we can knock out before the other tractor gets hung up. I'm just looking now to see if I can see him over there. I can't. My money's not going down. Maybe what we'll do is when I get to the end row here, we're going to stop real quick. We're going to go check on him, and then we'll jump into a time lapse here and take on some of this tillage. Because since my money's not going down, I feel like I missed the message that the worker is done. And so we're going to go check on that. I heard this tractor is has some specific problems with helpers. So it might, my issues last time, it was mostly a comedy, but I don't know that I can necessarily blame the Giants workers on this tractor's performance. Wow, that thing is really hopping. There's some farm sim physics for you. All right, let me raise that up. I don't want my game to glitch out. But let's jump over here. Yeah, it looks like you got stopped for some reason. Farm sim workers don't like angles, so this is my bad. I should have not set him up on an angle. But it is what it is. We're going to get him going again. Whoa, right through the fence. And we're going to grab our other tractor here and do some time lapse.
Under the city lights, dear, you're so pale, but when the light falls, conversation feels so damn near. While we're watching purple skies and planes, my sweetheart, maybe I am in a dream. I wish some dear will forever stay in our hearts. Old memories are fading while we're watching purple skies and flames, my sweetheart. Or maybe I am in a dream. As simple as the breeze, I am lost without you. We're too far apart, I need you close. Purple skies and flames, my sweetheart. But maybe I am in a dream. Purple skies and flames, my sweetheart. Maybe I am in a dream.
So this telephone pole seems to be right in the way of our next track. I'm going to try to just get around it here. And I've had the sudden realization while going through this bit of tillage here that I'm not entirely sure I'm doing this right. And this is where I love having a bunch of viewers who have a lot more farming experience than me a lot of times. Or preparing the seedbed. Would I be doing this at an angle, or is that really just fall tillage that you would angle out and attack to, break up the crop residue in the ground some? If you were running something like this particular, tillage tool here, this land all finish all, would I actually be hitting this at an angle, or would I be going up and down the rows the way that I intend to plant? I actually don't know. And this is where I think I would probably be going up and down the rows in reality. And this is something where I'm actually doing this incorrectly right now. So I would love to hear from somebody on the appropriate way to do this, so that I can do it right in the future. Because this is something that, I didn't have a lot of personal experience with. So that thought just came to me while I was going back and forth here. And we are officially at negative money. That's amazing. I'm going to have to deal with that here in a second as well. I noticed that the money's not going down, which means that red tractor, which I can see up there, is stopped. I'm curious if he's stuck or done. So let's get him back on his track here real quick. Man, this tractor, I'm having a hard time getting it to turn right into the GPS. That's the other thing, like just finding that angle again seems to be difficult, especially on these hills. So we're gonna stop here for just a minute. I want to jump over here, and it looks like we are not done. Looks like we hit the fence. So let me get him turned around, and I think I can still fire off a worker even though I'm negative money. And we'll deal with taking the loan out before we get to the end of the day here. Yes, it is going to let me do that. So let's let him keep going here. We're making great progress on field 2. And yeah, we're gonna keep going here. I'm trying to think. I'm gonna probably finish up a bunch of this tillage off camera because we are running up against time on today's episode, and there's only so much tillage I can do in a single episode. It gets to be a bit much, so I think I'm gonna probably wrap up a good chunk of this. We might finish the last little bits on camera next episode and then transition into some new jobs, but I did want to dive into this primarily this episode, really put this 9330 through its paces. I'm absolutely loving this setup. It's a smart looking tractor. This Landall, I can't believe I haven't used this Landall before. This is a great tillage tool. Yeah, I'm liking everything about this series so far. It's a lot of fun getting to try some new stuff out. So we will keep going on this a bit off camera, and then we'll check back in here next episode as we're starting to wrap up some more of this tillage. That's all for today. Kedrick out.